Why hello there, welcome back to my channel. It is of course Chelsea of She Designs Things. And in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you the difference between your Google Workspace account and your Google personal account for Google Sites. Alright, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump into the video. Alright, so first thing we're going to take a look at the basics. I am going to be going over your Workspace account. This obviously being for the purpose of going over the differences between your Gmail account used for Google Sites and your Gmail account that you will be using for Google Sites under the personal account versus the business account. So here we have a number of tiers that you can select from. You have your Business Starter, Business Standard, Business Plus, and Enterprise. Note that this is not changing. Google Domains is not the same as your Workspace account. I want to make sure that is very clear. When you are buying a Workspace, you are basically buying the portion of your domain that is for your email, your Gmail service provider. So keep that in mind. You do not have to have a Workspace account to use some of the features. This is why I'm making this video, to kind of share with you the difference between the two. But there are features that you will not have if you do not have a Google Workspace account, and I'm going to go over and cover what those features are in this video. So right now you see I am looking at all four tiers. You have a Business Starter, Business Standard, Business Plus, and Enterprise. I use Business Standard. I do recommend using Business Standard for those of you who are starting out in your business and you kind of want to have like an idea for the best support that you're going to receive and like how much data you need versus the difference in what you can do inside of your Google site. I do recommend the Business Standard, and I'll show you why in just a second. And you'll kind of see why when I go through the video. If you look at some of my original designs versus my newer designs, you'll see why I recommend the Business Standard versus the Business Starter. All right, so I did very briefly in another video cover what you get inside of the different tiers, but I'm going to just very quickly go over those again. I'm going to expand all just so we can see here. You do have in Meet, that video conferencing. All of these features are added. And what I like about it is when I'm having client meetings, you set up record and then transcript, and it'll automatically record and create a transcript. And I can send that back and play it back and create notes just based off of our conversation in our video to provide to my mentees for the mentorship program. Same goes for Drive. I obviously use Drive quite a bit because Google Sites is a Drive file. Your site is hosted inside of Drive, basically. So just keep that in mind. Plus, I really do like the appointment booking pages. This is a feature that you'll only get in the Business Standard. It is not a feature, a part of your regular Google site. The site's website builder, again, is across the board. This is something that is in all Gmail accounts, whether that being a Workspace account or a regular personal Gmail account. And then of course we have the different security management services that are provided down in here. But this is not the part that you guys care about. You care most about what is the difference when you're looking at it from your Google site and the changes between your Gmail account. And should you go with a regular Gmail account, or should you decide if you want to upgrade to this Business Standard account? All right, so for the purpose of this demonstration, the side that says copy is the personal Gmail account, and the one that just says wireframe SDT2122 is the Workspace account. We're going to start looking at some of the obvious differences that are on the screen right across the top. You see here I have the search settings icon that is readily available on the Workspace account. It is not showing up here under the personal Gmail account. This is because you do have the option of turning this off and on, the search feature. When you're using your personal Gmail account, if you hide all of your pages in navigation, it automatically removes the option for search features. However, even if you hid all of the pages inside of your Gmail Workspace account, you still have the option of either turning it off or turning it on if you're using a Workspace account. Therefore, a lot of my newer designs, you'll see that I actually have decided that I don't necessarily have to hide all the pages. Granted, I would like the option of moving my navigation from just the top or to the side to maybe placing it directly underneath the header, because I find that to be a very aesthetically pleasing design. That's just my personal opinion. So you do see that in some of my more wireframes and some of my older designs of having this feature across here. However, just keep in mind, it is something that I don't do so much anymore, is create this design like this, where you'll have the sub menu, or the menu I should say, system be a button menu instead. Now, obviously wireframe SDT2122 is one of my favorite wireframes. And by the way, my wireframes will be going on my site up for sale. They will all just be a standard price for the wireframes, and I do have several of them. So if you are interested in getting a wireframe that looks like this is one of those wireframes that will be coming available on my site here very, very soon. If not later today, which it's Saturday, September 2nd. 2023, then maybe sometime later this month, but you should be able to have the option of actually purchasing these wireframes. So one of the other key differences is your ability to share changes if you're having a Workspace account versus your personal Gmail account. So here in the Workspace side, you see here that I have just myself for my organization, and it's published. So it's published to public view. If, let's say, for example, I wanted to have She Devs Things, which is my it's my, I want to call my dummy sort of Gmail that I like to use. If I had She Devs Things over here and I wanted to go ahead and create or add She Devs Things into here and transfer ownership or add an expiration date, it is only something you can do, add the expiration date, I should say, is only something you can do inside of here. Now, let's say I want to add, I'm going to say She Designs Things. I can only add She Designs Things as a published viewer or an editor. I do not get the option of adding that expiration date. So you also may notice that I have a link for the published site, and I don't have the link here. That's because obviously this one is not published. If it was published, I would actually have a link here as well. So this isn't a difference. It's just one is published and one is not. And I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that portion out. So now that I've gone ahead and I actually added myself as an editor over here, if you click on where you've added that person as an editor, you will see these options show up to remove access, to transfer ownership, and obviously to add an expiration date. And that is, again, under the Workspace account. Under the personal Gmail account, you do not get that add expiration date, but you still get the option to transfer ownership or remove access. Now, keep in mind, transfer ownership applies to people who have personal Gmail accounts or people who are in your organization, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but let's just test this. So I see here that I have transfer ownership. I am in the Workspace account, and this is transferring ownership of this wireframe over to a personal Gmail account. If I select transfer, it says the new owner will be notified and could remove you. You also might lose the ability to change share settings. Some people will lose access to this item unless this item is shared directly with them. So I'm just going to say yes and see what happens. And you see, I get this notice as sorry, you cannot transfer ownership to She Devs Things at gmail.com. Ownership can only be transferred to another user in the same organization as the current owner. That's the same organization as the current owner. Now, in the personal Gmail account, I decided that I was going to add a Gmail account instead of trying to transfer ownership to a Workspace account. So how is this possible? You see here, you do get a notice that says you'll be the owner until this person accepts ownership, and you can select learn more. What this allows me to do is to transfer this ownership of this document over to a client. So if I hit send invitation, this should send the invitation over to my other Gmail account, and then this other Gmail account should become the owner. And just so you can see what that ownership transfer process looks like to the person who's receiving the ownership at that Gmail account. Again, this is not a Workspace process. This is the Gmail account process. It says the current owner has invited you to own, not copy, to own this particular copy, because it's a copy technically. Once I accept it, I'm going to accept it. It's going to transfer over, and let's just find out and see what happens. It says you're now the owner, and I can click done. And now that I'm the owner, if I wanted to go ahead and remove that other Gmail account as an editor, I can go ahead and just do that. And it does set me as the owner. So if I were to refresh this page and go back to where I have the plus sign with the person, you will see that I am no longer the owner under She Devs Things. It is now a completely different Gmail account that makes the owner is the owner of this site. All right, so the next key difference is going to be something located in the insert panel, located on the right side. So you have your traditional content blocks. All of that is pretty much the same, but what changes when you get towards the bottom of these elements that you can drag and drop into your Google site is the cloud search. Cloud search is only available to a Workspace account with a higher tier. It is not available if you have that regular style Gmail account, nor is it available to the starter Workspace account. So this is something, if you are interested in, say you need an intranet, bruh. In order for you to have an intranet, you definitely want to have a cloud search. So you want to have that higher tier Google site set up. So the next change is going to be located under settings. So obviously I was talking about the navigation being a little bit different. So here under the Workspace account, I do have it specified as a top navigation. And then where I have the search settings, it says search organization content. I can change it, I can hide it. Whatever I want to do, I can change it, hide it here, but I do not have the options located over here. Branded images, I do have branded images here. Branded images remains exactly the same. Viewer tools does change, by the way. I do believe the contact form, show contact form right here is not located over here. So everyone has this thing about the info icon that's located in the lower left side. So you'll see here where it says the viewer tools, the site info icon in the lower left side of your published site shows page specific details. Site viewers may click or hover over the icon to reveal content. If you ever had a question about what it is, what it does, you can always go into settings and click this button that says learn more so that you're able to fully understand what that does. This show contact form really only applies to you, really only applies to Workspace account in the same organization. So here I have published the site. You can see under the Workspace account, the non-Workspace account, the Gmail account, or anyone who's viewing this site, they will only ever see the report abuse. But if you are logged into the organization, you'll see admin and you'll see contact. Admin and contact for the info icon. So that is something that is different between working here in the Workspace account while you're in your Workspace account. If this was another Workspace account that I am not a part of, I would not see admin and contact. I would literally just see report abuse like everyone else. All right, so finally, let's just go ahead and take a look at my site, which, by the way, is a regular old Gmail facing Google site. So let me show you what I have created here and why mine might appear a little bit different, but it's exactly the same as your regular Gmail account. So here is She Designs Things, my website, right here, just the live site. And I wanted you to take a look here in this section. What seems to be missing? I'm missing something that most people are always like, how do I get rid of it with a personal Gmail account? I want this to be known that I do own this Gmail account in a personal Gmail account. I own this Google site in a personal Gmail account. So I am missing the search icon. That is right. The search icon for my Google site is not present. And guess what? It can't be added back. So this is a bug, so to speak. I didn't tell Google and kind of snitching on myself right now because I'm pretty happy about it. But so I don't have the ability to have the little search icon in this Google site. When I rebuilt She Designs Things, I actually rebuilt She Designs Things in my Workspace account. And when I built it in my Workspace account, I was under the impression like, oh, okay, I'm just going to disable the search feature because I really just didn't want to have it there. That way people weren't able to search through my content on my pages whenever I was just trying to hide pages, because I have a ton of pages that are incomplete. Not that they're incomplete, they're outdated, and I'm still going through and kind of organizing them and indexing them and getting rid of them. So I rebuilt She Designs Things inside of that Workspace account here. But now the new owner, being the Gmail account, doesn't have the option to turn that back on. And neither does She Designs Things, my Workspace account, because She Designs Things Workspace account is not the owner. And if you notice, I don't have the option of adding the organization search either, nor do I have the option of adding that icon. So if I disable on a Google site, if I were to disable in my designs the search icon, it will not come back. So a lot of times you'll see that I have, when I'm sharing a design, I do disable it for the design's sake. But keep in mind, when you get the file, I keep it open for that reason. I don't want to take it out. If you do want to have your content, like someone be able to search through your site or search through your the content on your site, that is essential to some people, not to all. All right, so I do hope this video, while a little bit longer, was helpful in helping you identify the difference between your Workspace account and your personal Gmail account. There are other areas of differences, such as the option of having scheduling pages. So like I said, the consultation page, I like to link mine out for Google Calendar. Here it is right here, so you can schedule a free consultation if you are ever interested. If you're interested in having a consultation about your Google site and you want me to redesign it, that is what that is for. If you're interested in becoming a mentee under me, then there is a different link for that, as under my For Designers page under my She Designs Things website. All right, so I do, of course, thank you guys so much for watching, and see ya.